Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Tales with TR episode. Where are we? 271B. And today he is a great father, a great friend, a great son, a great former NHLer, a great former Montreal Canadian, a great former Barrie Colt. Barrie Colt. His name is Brad Brown. He's one of my best friends in hockey. It's great to talk to you again, Brad. How you doing?
What's up, Noof? I'm just, just living through you, bud. Just going on your Instagram now. My daughter got me on Instagram, so I follow you. I just watch you tour the world and just become bigger and bigger every time I see you.
Oh, there's some wild things happening. I was explaining to people in the end of my one of these podcasts.
Yeah.
It was kind of a fortunate era for us from the way of I play video games. I enjoy them. I have a cell phone. I have to be on social media for everything I'm doing, whether it's books or a TV show or, an appearance, all things that, you have to put out there. And I don't know if naturally at first I wanted to do it. Now, so my point is I take part in all these things. So I'm not the pot calling the kettle black. But we just happened to grow up in that era that didn't really have that. We had cell phones that you could call. You couldn't even text. So we hung out more. So it's nice now because for a while, all my real good friends, Aaron Asham's another guy, but mostly when I'll be texting them. So it's nice that you can come on here and there and shoot the shit because we get to talk.
Like, am I getting into Terrence Sandwith levels here? Like, is this my
I think so. Well, people enjoy it. I just tell from the feedback, right? I very rarely promote.
Yeah.
I don't I do have some merchandise. I'm so bad at promoting. I had to do some kind of a video. So it's terryryan.ca for those that haven't heard that. I have I guess through Shoresy and Chickens, I have a pretty big following for this podcast, to be honest with you. But the people that I'll either get general questions.
Yeah.
Right. What the hardest punch you've ever taken, your favorite new player in the game, whatever. General like that over the media platforms, or they'll ask a lot about how are you or Sandman or Ken Reed are doing. And I do have you guys on periodically. So there is a method behind my madness.
Yeah. I'll just Google that. I Googled Terry Ryan and Sandwith. Do you guys know you both have 8 games played?
Yeah, we call ourselves Crazy Eights.
Crazy. Yeah, I just noticed that now. I just checked the stats out.
Did you? Well, you're the only one ever to notice that outside of ourselves. And
no points. You got a lot of games though.
We just hey, Ron McLean always laughs at it. It's like I've stretched my inner alumni the furthest that it could possibly go on 8 games.
Yeah, and then it's funny how I'm on this morning. So last night when I go to bed, I always put on YouTube and I see my feeds that I like, right? There's hockey fights or whatever, hits, goals, or politics, whatever on my YouTube channel. But guess what came up? It had best fights 1997-98. Okay. So I press it. You were on it. You fought Todd Harvey that year.
Oh yeah.
Todd
that
Harvey
was a good one.
In New York. But how weird is that? Like I'm talking to you the next morning on a podcast. The night before, I go on YouTube, I go on hockey's best fights of 97-98, and there's TR going toe-to-toe. Hey, no defense in your game, eh, bud? No defense.
No. Gretzky was playing that game.
Was it?
So
yeah, just funny.
Langer was playing that game. Darren Langdon.
Oh, really, eh? Two
yeah, he was I remember so distinctly, yesterday, looking over at Langer. And I really looked up to Langer, obviously. Langer came out of nowhere. Senior hockey to Dayton to Binghamton to the NHL in a year. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So I would have done it, but I was I don't know if Langer went. But then Langer said,
"But that was a good fight, though. Harvey,
yeah.
He's like you. He's like you. He's like a middleweight. So Todd's like you. He's a middleweight, but he can throw.
He can really throw. Yeah.
So it was a good.
It was a great matchup for something like that, right? Yeah. And we the game was a bit of a dud at first, I remember, and we really got the crowd into it. And he just looked over at me and he said, "Newfoundland, eh?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I thought he said his mother and father-in-law." But he said, "I got relatives there."
Oh, cool.
He said, "You want to go? It's a good time for it," and it was a good time for it. It's like I can't remember but a guy on each team got like ran and no one did anything, and there was booze, and it was a shit game anyway to that point. And I'll never forget though. Gretzky ended up getting a hat trick. But yeah, that's it. How ironic is it that showed up?
It is crazy.
Speaking of good fights, you and Brian McGrattan, I'm going somewhere with this because McGrattan comes to a lot of these things with me now. I do a lot. Yeah. We are doing, you might be, a thing in Cancun, Mexico in April. It's like almost like a fantasy camp. Myself, him, Brad May, who's another buddy of yours.
Yeah.
It was going to be Doug Gilmore, but there's a few guys now. I'm helping Jackson Events. You might, the more teams we get, the more like alumni.
Don't forget the little guy here, bud, in Ottawa. Don't forget me. If you need a player, let me know.
That's what I'm saying. I'd love to take you.
Yeah. I'm available. Like I work my ass off all summer doing camps. And then during the wintertime, I kind of slow it down. Just do like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the mornings, an hour a day. That's it for the wintertime. So, hey,
is that what you do?
Don't
forget tell me exactly what you do. I know you're on the ice. That's all I know. You're coaching kids.
Yeah, just young kids. I found my my niche. Like I work with kids like 10 to 13 years old, right? And I just give them hard skates in the mornings, like like a power skating. A lot of shots, a lot of tight turns. But I do it from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. before school, 3 times a week. I start like next month. But summertime, I do camps, like 4 or 5 weeks of camps. Just me. I just like myself on the ice, 10 to 12 kids, and that's it. I cap it at 10 to 12. And I like it. Keeps me young, keeps me on the ice, keeps me active.
So that's wild. Do you advertise it? Is it called the Brad Brown Hockey School, or does people know? I mean, because with that many words,
they know me. Yeah, they know me, so I don't advertise. But
do you like Ottawa? So you're from Mississauga, right? I mean, I know you lived there when you. I mean, let's go back. Okay, I guess you're talking to a Newfoundlander here, so let's go back. What are your roots in Newfoundland?
Oh, here we go. No, I was born in Bayburt, Newfoundland, but the town where my mother grew up in, and I lived there till I was 4, was Mings Bight. It's a small, tough fishing community, right? It's like mining and fishing. And I remember as a kid, when the price of nickel was at a certain price where it was worth mining, the mines open up and all my uncles are working in the mines, right? And then once the price of nickel goes down, they shut down the mine, right? It's just simple. And then they're on the boats all winter, crab fishing. It was cod until they kind of, shut that industry down for a while. But it's great people, man. I love Newfoundland. I love the rock. I love the ocean. Like I love it. And I haven't been back in a while, and I want to go back because it's just it's always something that's been part. Me. Like when I met you in Montreal, there, you're like, who's this Brad Brown guy? He thinks he's a Newfie, right? I was a wannabe Newfie. I'm just talking to you all the time, like we connected, but I haven't been there in years and years. But my family was from there, and I still have that connection.
Well, before I met you, it would bother me because they'd say, Terry's, you were the year before me getting drafted. Yep. Everybody made a big deal of it, which they should. I had nothing against you, but I was like, hopefully Terry can go ahead of fellow Newfoundlander. I'm like, fuck that. He's not a Newfoundlander. What are you talking about?
I'm a wannabe.
Yes, John Slaney, no Brad Brown. But, then we got to know each other, and I gave you a pass on that. You know why? Because they're so proud of you, especially out that way. I met a lot of people over the years, especially back then, man, when we were there. Imagine if you were from Western. We had in here in St. John's, I grew up. So, of course, I heard all of that. And in an outside, there was you, and there was also a guy, Keith Brown. He was born in Corner Brook, but that was it. He never so they would throw him into conversations. And in here, I was like, that's not. Those guys aren't even from here. We all know it. But the further you went west, though, they were proud of you, man. Like they did consider you from there, and for good reason. And then so many would be at Habs games. So many Newfoundlanders, right, would be up there, and you'd meet them. So I met just as many people from out your way.
Here's a fun fact for you. So my cousin Mark Sacre, he's like me, big boy, wicked athlete, really strong, but he lived in Mings Bight, so he couldn't get better in hockey. He couldn't get better in hockey, right? And he always wished he lived in Toronto with me to play better hockey. But he went to school in Bayburt, And guess who was in his class? There's a guy in his class. He's like, yeah, Brad, Jody Shelley's in my class. I'm like, what do you mean Jody Shelley? He goes,
Wow.
yeah, he lives in Bay Verde. So Jody Shelley was in Bay Verde for a couple of years because
Wow. Yeah.
his old
Yeah.
man, I think, was in the police force or something.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe. So Jody Shelley was in Bay Verde for a couple of years playing hockey, like just local hockey. Then he left Bay Verde, went to out east there, Nova Scotia, I think, to play.
Yeah. He went to Nova Scotia. The first time I came across Jody, he was playing, I believe it was Yarmouth. I was up for other reasons, and lots of Newfoundlanders playing that Maritime League.
Yeah.
So I go to a game when I can, and I love going to games in Yarmouth. I'm not there much, but a lot of Newfoundlanders have come through. I haven't been in a few years, but they used to pack it. There's Junior A, and then there's Junior A where it's you're just absorbing the stereotype of the whole thing. It's packed. There's a heavy drinking at the time when Jody was playing. The high school is out to see the locals. Like it has a real vibe, man, on a game day.
Yeah.
But he was playing, and then he went on to play for the Mooseheads, and against all odds, made the NHL and became an effective tough guy. Did you fight him up there?
I fought him. I fought him once, in Fredericton, AHL, when he was at St. John, maybe somewhere. I fought him.
Yeah, he was at St.
once.
John.
Yeah.
And you guys didn't come across each other in the show? I find that hard to believe.
No, I didn't. When I played against him a lot, he was fighting like Matt Johnson a lot, and I never fought him in the NHL. It's like George the Rock. I fought George the Rock in Hamilton, right? But never fought him in the NHL.
So when you got, I followed you in the NHL, obviously, and I know you got in some great fights, but you definitely weren't as maniacal. You weren't in Freddie there. I remember the 1 year, like the first 8 games. Remember you had 100 and something minutes. You cracked the 100 mark 8 games in. Do you remember that?
I remember that. Well, I remember that because I remember having a meeting with I don't know, it was Paul and Bordelot or Michelle Terry, and pretty much told me like, hey, if you don't fight, you don't make it. Right? I'm like, as a 19-year-old kid, you hear that from your coach. If you don't fight, you don't make it. What the hell do you do? Do you not listen to your coach, or do you listen? So I took their advice and I just went on a rampage for like pretty much the whole year, right?
That was one for the ages. Well, no, it wasn't even the whole year. It was 2 years. Because
2 years,
I got to get to this. I never ask you because I always fucking forget. I was saying Barry Colts earlier rather facetiously because, yes, you played for them. You played like 20 games as a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
What was that? Was there some kind of – because it's one thing to go back into junior, but as a 20-year-old when you could have been playing in the A, were you at odds with the Habs or something?
Yeah, no, it was a contract dispute with the Habs there. Okay. And I was a late birthday too, right? So if I'd have played that overage year the whole year, like I would have been a UFA after that season.
So you did have some negotiating chips there.
Yeah. So I just and then by Christmas I was gone. I went to Fredericton there.
Okay.
That's why, yeah. So were you in Barrie recently or doing something in Barrie?
Yeah, I did like 3 things there in the last 5 months.
So I was there for 2 months there, and when I was there, it was who was our star player then? Like Daniel Kachuk was our first overall pick that year.
Jeff Cowan was there.
Yeah, and then I went there too because my old coach Bert Templeton in North Bay.
Yeah,
he went to Barrie the following year. After my last year in North Bay, he went to Barrie, and it was an expansion team. So, and it's a funny story about the Barrie Colts is I remember Bert. He called me in the summertime and he's like, yeah, I have or actually in the fall or spring. He's like, I have a chance to pick 2 players here for the OHL draft, Joe Thornton or Daniel Kachuk, right? And I'm like, right. And he goes, if I pick Joe Thornton, he'll be gone in 2 years. And, that's it. And we're an expansion team. He goes, I'm going to pick Daniel Kachuk because he's a good player. We'll have him for 4 years. And,
wow.
But then, like years later, he's like, Brownie, I should have picked Joe Thornton. just to have that, like for the franchise of Barrie, like Joe Thornton.
I like that story though because I bring up things that you have to be like it doesn't always trend. If you're the brass in junior, the coach, GM, owner, whatever, if you're managing a junior team, it's different than managing a pro team of any sort, let alone an NHL team. It's a completely
Yeah,
different set of priorities. And a lot of people don't, if you're a player, things like billets are really important that people don't talk about. If you're a coach or GM, I totally see what he's talking about there. It sounds
yeah,
outlandish, but if you can get 4 years out of a guy that's going to be a star versus 2 years out of a guy that's going to be superstar, what do you,
yeah,
because he wasn't wrong, and Kachuk ended up being a good player. But
yeah. Great,
yeah, I
great
mean, I
junior
think
player
I
for
think I'd
sure.
go for Thornton, but I can see the argument against it. So that's what I was talking about. So at the last half of that year, and then
Yeah,
the next year for sure, even the next two. Do you remember when Peter Worrell kicked the shit out of us? Two
hmm,
two of us in one game.
yeah,
I remember you. I remember seeing your eye. And
yeah,
I just looked, I didn't know. Someone tracked it down. I hadn't seen him fight me in 20 years. I kind of forgot. Brownie,
yeah,
I opened up like this. I don't know what I was thinking. And
yeah,
he hit me and my knees buckled and I just went straight
yeah.
down. Now, for people that don't know, how big was Peter Worrell?
Well, he was at that time there, like he was what, 6'6", right? And
I think it's, oh yeah,
long arms, and long
yeah.
legs. And
And
yeah, well, my fight, he freaking knocked, like he buckled me too, and my eye was like the size of a football. And I remember like the next day we're on a road trip, and I couldn't go. Like I can't play tomorrow. I can't even see it in my one eye. It took me like 3 or 4 days for my eye to stop the swelling to go down the sea. But he hit me so hard, and I was like you too, right? We're young and dumb, and we're gonna end up
stupid.
fight. Like we're not thinking defense sometimes, and
Yeah.
once in a while you're gonna get hit if you don't think defense. It's gonna get you. It'll catch up to you, right? Yeah, it's any tough guy. So as soon as you feel comfortable opening up and going hard all the time, some point someone's gonna tag you, and it's gonna
They're going
hurt,
to
right?
tag you. Yeah, that was the
And
worst black guy I've ever seen in my life, your black guy.
me too. Out of all the guys I played with my entire career, my black eye, I wish I had a picture of it. I wish it was
It
on.
was Rocky 4.
It was
That's what it looked
disgusting.
like.
It was disgusting. It was
It looked like
disgusting.
Rocky Balboa
I can't
eye
believe I still have vision
after
in my
his
eye.
worst pummeling. It was the whole side of your face. There was just a
Yeah.
slit. There was just a slit that was your eye.
It was
Oh, fuck, man. Can you
it was
imagine
nasty. I
if
know.
you had like what their perspective? I mean, and that year I had 256 minutes. I had 34 fights.
Yeah.
And not that I was to your level. I definitely wasn't. You were fighting the heavy, heavy, heavy. I fought the odd heavy, a lot of
Yeah.
middles, but like he pretty much one punched both of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having that in your arsenal? If you're
Yeah.
gonna have a guy, holy fuck,
And
man! And he went to the show. I don't think he played as long as I thought, but he played a few years.
he had a good career. No, he had a few good years there where he was one of the beasts of the NHL, right? But I remember that year. Like we had a tough team, but I remember I was so pumped to have Jerry Fleming on our team. Big Jerry, who was another mountain of a man, right? And he was like and he had a name in
Almost
the league.
6'7",
Yeah.
272. He weighed into camp that first year
And
when we were there. Go ahead.
yeah, especially in the like our division where it was like a war zone, right? Like Freddie
It
and
was war.
St. John's, like PEI.
God,
But I remember like Jerry was always hurt, for God's sakes. That year he was always hurt because he's probably in his mid-30s then, and he didn't give a shit about fighting. But me and you are
yeah.
20 years old, and we're going into a big city to play a big a weekend back-to-backs. I remember like Jerry's hurt. I'm like,
I
Jerry's
know.
hurt, man. Now it's up to us now. So it's really
Oh,
it's so important, to have to have a couple, 3 or 4 tough guys on a team, just to make you feel better.
oh
It's a
my
bad
God.
feeling when you're legit heavyweight, champ like Jerry Fleming was out a lot. You're like, oh shit. Now it's like it's up to us now to take on the burden of protecting the players in our team.
Oh my God. Everything you're saying, it's just coming. It's bringing back so many memories. Like we had a lot of fun, but I mean, I
Mhm.
played fearlessly, but now I realize looking back that there was always like a little blanket of anxiety when you're in that division and like
Yeah,
when you're playing in general to go out, but like within like that was tough. Like each game you're getting ready for, it, like it's going to be tough and you might have to fight someone.
Yeah.
You just might have to fight an absolute heavyweight. The odds are that you're going to, like you and
Yeah.
I mean, how many fucking fights we had? I had 30 odd.
Crazy.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking now. So you came in, 97, 98. Yeah, man, look, we had guys. I'm looking down. Jerry only played 28 games.
Yeah.
We had
Bastard.
Steve McKenna. Remember, he was a big guy. He only played 6 games. I thought we'd have him all year. And Eric Hood. Oh, we had Linger. Linger had started, though.
Yeah.
Eric Hood, Eric Belanger, Guerin, Grollo, DeLille, Loitkin, Green, Robida, Higgins, Lafayette, Gendron. We didn't really have, Donald McLean, Chris Schmidt, Boyd Olson. A lot of grit there, but nobody really that's going to threaten Ryan Vandenbush and these guys.
Yeah, Bombi, Vandenbush.
Yeah. And we had the odd person like called up, but can you remember when Michel Therrien called up Yves Gagnon?
Yes, the fighter, like a strictly the fighter couldn't. Like when you talk about players who can't play.
Can you believe that his hockey DB says American Hockey League on it?
Yeah, I know. It's just he was like a UFC fighter pretty much, and it's put some skates on him.
And he was from this little town in Quebec. This was why it's so. Those listening, like I don't know, like Therrien would pull things, and it had to be a Michel Therrien thing, and I believe it was. But this guy was playing senior in Quebec, and I think it wasn't even senior AAA. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what the fuck he was playing, but he couldn't skate. He came in, and they said he's gonna fight first shift, and it was. Fuck, who was it? I can't remember. Maybe it was Sylvain Blouin. It was someone like that playing on Hartford or something.
Yeah.
Now, of the tough guys, I wasn't really scared of Blouin. It's not a slight against him. Whatever it was, I mean, he was real tough for the era.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have put him in the top 5, but he kicked the living, but he couldn't skate. Can you remember that?
Yeah. I remember that. I'm saying that he actually lost, right? I don't care how tough you are. Like, you could be the biggest UFC fighter in the world. If you can't skate and have balance, and like fighting is not like it's very simple. You grab both arms if you get in trouble, and that's it. There's no other way to get hit, right? It's only fists can hit you.
Yes.
And Blouin is a good technical fighter, and he probably saw this guy. He goes, I'm gonna grab him, shake him a bit. I remember he shaked him, and then our boy was on the ground a bit and taking bombs.
That's
right?
it. That was it. And he was down.
All you can wrestle on the ground. It's like hockey fighting's. You're on your feet. If you have no balance, then you're not going to.
And he had none, man. Honestly, it was comical. He wouldn't have made a Bantam AA team.
But you know what? I wish I can go back in time and talk to him more because he probably loved it, right? He was probably so pumped to play in the AHL and he's a fighter. Like he wanted to fight. Like me and you, like we played hockey growing up. We're hockey players first. We thought we were hockey players. Fighting came second. But this guy here was like, I want to fight. Like I want to be on the ice. I want to scrap. But then he fights a guy like Blouin, who's just, you know, and Blouin's he's a grappler too, right? He likes to hold on and wrestle and shake you. So it was like that guy had no chance. He had no chance.
None. I think that's why. I think what came off. I was with Blouin. Yeah, I wasn't scared of getting one punch, but he could wrestle you around, and he was like a poor man's version of Langer.
Yes, right? Exactly.
And not that I'm not scared of, but like Vandenbush, I used to be okay. Like, don't let that fucking hand go. Don't let that goddamn hand go, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was me. Think about that. That was me when I fought Joey Kosher in Detroit. I thought that's one thing about Detroit, Terry. Like everyone thinks back then, Detroit, they're a skilled team, right? This and that, but they were tough, man. They had Joey Kosher, Darren McCarty, Brendan Shanahan, Maltby, Draper, Probert. Like they got it back then. They were skilled and tough, right? Because you know how it is. You have to be tough now, and you gotta. And like you said, you gotta have players on your team. Like you can have guys on your team who are big and strong, but if the opponents know that they can't fight, they're not really afraid of them, right? Like the fighters scare you. I remember in Detroit, I hit Larry Onoff to hit him, and like in 3 seconds, I had like Maltby, McCarty, Lapointe. I had Kosher, and Kosher grabbed me. But like you said, when he grabbed me, I did not think once to throw a punch for the first like 30 seconds. It was just I grabbed his right arm and I held on to it. And I made sure he wasn't going to hit me because he had that, you know, as kids growing up, he heard the fear of Joey Kosher's punch. He can knock you out. So like you said, when I grabbed kosher, it was all seatbelt, and I held on for the longest time, try to tire him out because I
Wow.
fought him too. He was like 35, I was like 22, so it's a big difference, right? Like when you fight a guy at 35, he's way past his prime. Like he's not the guy he was when he was 22. So I fought him at the perfect time, and I'm lucky. Like he didn't hit me because I made sure of that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Because he
know,
had there's only
he had the
so many
reputation.
dangerous, like you're dealing with a sledgehammer, right? Like
Yeah,
he's dangerous. Like
but
Vandenbush was dangerous. I mean, they're punch dangerous. Like some
I
guys might be.
guarantee you, though, Taylor, I guarantee you, if you fought him, you're going toe to toe. You're
Yeah,
going
man.
toe to toe. You would have. That's the way you were, man. You didn't.
That
You're toe to
is
toe.
wild. I know. That's why sometimes Senior says to me, he's like, all in all, you did end up playing in the NHL. You got a great career now and something doing that you love. Because he goes, with every game that passed, there was a small chance that you're getting your orbital bone broken. He's like, you might
Yeah,
have run, just, and I
yeah.
didn't really ever think of it like that. But if you just do the law of averages and the way that I was fighting, and the
Well,
guys like, Worrell nearly did it. If that's the wrong person, I mean,
but you
Jason
had, you know
Bowen
what?
did it to Darcy
Yeah.
Harris, and Darcy's a real tough dude. Darcy Harris
Oh
um,
yeah, yeah.
came
He's
out.
tough.
Jason Bowen hit him and broke his face essentially, and sent him into.
Yeah,
Now, Darcy was a fantastic fight. Like you said, at some point, it's going to happen. Dave Morissette fucking did it to Probert,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
Probert was at the end of his career. Listen, um,
Okay.
stay right there. I got to change computers, so we're going to call this Volume 1 and Volume 2. Okay, so I'm going to call
All
you
right.
back. We're going to be able to do another 15 or 20 minutes. Are you good with that?
I'm good. I'm here. I'm home.
Okay, it's only because I have to say it's a long story without getting into it. This computer though is on its way out, and I have one here that I didn't think was around that I just got, so we're going to go over to that one. Okay, this one's skipping a little bit on my end. You don't see it. Okay, folks, back with Volume 2 in a minute.